It's just terrible. The first few minutes, it's got a bunch of little girls playing with little baby dolls, and the girls take the baby dolls and bash them and slap them, and we don't have.
Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to be ranting a little bit about this Barbie movie that came out. If you don't know me, my name is Michael Helene, and I'm a girl. I know my name's Michael, but I'm a girl. So I am super bummed because I have been so excited to take my daughters to go see the Barbie movie because in my mind, like, Barbie's a little girl's movie. And I have two little girls and I played with Barbies growing up and they played with Barbies growing up and they have a Barbie dream house and they have all this Barbie stuff. And then I saw the review.
I'll make your bubble burst. You are dead to me, 'cause what you said to me cut so deep, and now you're dead to me.
This is the first thing that I heard about this that really freaked me out. Like, who came up with this idea? Having baby dolls is a wonderful thing. Every little girl I know has had baby dolls, loves playing with them, loves dressing them up. Why would they? I understand that what they're saying here is that, like, now you have another doll to play with. You don't have to just be a baby doll. And the Barbie has been all these different jobs. And so now, instead of just being a mother, you can do all these things. I get that that's what they're saying. But the symbolism behind bashing a baby doll is probably not the best idea. You know, maybe, like, if they had come out with, you know, hey, you have now two choices. You can play with the baby doll or you can play with Barbie doll. Instead of bashing the baby dolls, that would have been a better choice. I mean, maybe we wouldn't be talking about it then, though, right? I guess that's how it goes.
And say we don't have to be mothers anymore. In Barbie land, men are the problem with all of society. It's hardcore feminist. So they've banished men so they have a better life. In fact, Ken is the villain in the movie. And
Daughter loved watching Barbie's Dream House, and I've watched like every episode of it, and Ken and Barbie loved each other. Even when he like annoyed her a little bit, which seems more realistic to me, right? If you've ever been in a relationship, you know that you and your husband or you and your boyfriend, you don't always get along 100% of the time. You annoy each other. You annoy each other. It doesn't go like, it's not just women are perfect and men are annoying. You annoy each other. They act like we don't do anything wrong. To make Ken not have a house, to make Ken just like all these different Kens and they're just kind of floating around and they adore Barbie and they do everything for Barbie and they make it, that's not how it was. I guess like with the marketing being towards the people it was marketed towards, and I know it was pretty vague. The marketing was pretty vague. But in my opinion, Barbie is a toy for small children. Once you're old enough to not play with Barbie anymore, why would you want to see this movie? I can't imagine there's many 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old girls wanting to see this movie. As they get older, right, we might want to see it for nostalgia, okay? So you're not hitting like the teenage market, I don't think. Maybe there's people that want to see it. Maybe not. I don't know. But to me, I'm thinking it's for nostalgia as older women or older women that have children that are, you know, around Barbie age, right? Kids that are watching Barbie Dreamhouse. And we've seen on Barbie Dreamhouse that Ken and Barbie are, you know, together. They're best friends. He helps her. She helps him. She's really smart. He's not as smart, but that's okay. Like, she still loves him. She still supports him. They help each other. This nonsense that Barbie is annoyed by Ken and doesn't want to be around him, it does feel really like forced, or it just has a really disingenuous feeling to it. And I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen enough like segments of it to know that it just doesn't feel right to me anyways.
Barbie has to leave because she's not adapting to, you know, this hate of the patriarchal society, although she hates Ken. So men are the villain, and trans, you know, there are a couple of trans people playing characters, Barbies. So, you know, men play better Barbies than women play Barbies, by the way. So you
and play somebody else. I mean, I don't even really care that there's a trans person playing a Barbie. I saw the trans person. This trans person definitely looks like a woman. I don't think that children necessarily would pick up on that. But I'm sure if there's a mother that is woke taking her child, she's going to point that out 100% of the time. Like, there's a heavyset Barbie. I like that they didn't make a big deal about it, right? Like, it wasn't a big deal. It did bother me a little bit that they made the trans person a doctor. Like, they couldn't have made one of the real women a doctor. Like, I don't know. That seems a little weird to me. But okay, let's keep going. Barbie,
you want to be a swimmer, you want to be anything else in society, men can be women better. That's what the movie's saying. So the doctor in the movie, Dr. Barbie, is a trans, and he was quoted in his interview of saying that this movie is candy with a little bit of poison. And the other trans person said, this is going to finish the gender conversation forever, because all the little kids that see it are going to realize that you don't have to be women to be women, if there are women, which is really weird to me because I'm 77 years old. So
42, and it's weird to me because I grew up in the 90s and everybody loved everybody and we didn't care. And I was like, I mean, at that point in my life, I was pretty woke. Like I have lots of gay friends. I have lots of friends that are different, from different backgrounds and nationalities and all those things. Like, I don't care about any of that. What bothers me with the trans stuff is, and I have trans friends that feel the same way, is when they start getting kids involved and they start putting kids on puberty blockers. I don't like that. But, as an adult, you do you. Like, I have some really fun friends that are trans. I don't care about that. I don't want my 7-year-old daughter who's a tomboy to think that because she's a tomboy, she's a boy. That terrifies me. Absolutely terrifies.
I still believe that our DNA and everything else says that I'm a man.
You follow the science, Dr. Bear.
I figured out how to be a man. And my wife was, practically perfect, and she died last year, and she was wonderful. And she'd always say, "Why are you taking such good care of me?" And I'd say, "It's my privilege to have a wife like you." So I believe that God designed us for men and women, and we love each other, and it's our privilege if we can.
And listen, I am not the person to talk to about this. I sucked at being married. I sucked because I thought I had to work. And I worked because that's what I was told I had to do. And I would have, now that I think back on it, I think I would have loved being a stay-at-home mom, but I was taught that women go to work. Like, I remember being a small child, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and I remember her, like, pushing me to go to college and pushing, not that, I hate to say it like this, because I think that she still told me, if you marry a good man, you can be a stay-at-home mom. But that was like frowned upon. No girl wanted to do that. We didn't want to be stay-at-home moms. And even throughout my career, the women that came and sat in my chair as a hairdresser, when I was a hairdresser, if they were stay-at-home moms, they always felt like they had to fight for it, or like say something like, well, I'll go back to work someday, or like something like that, right? They always had to like come up with some way to like make it okay that they were stay-at-home moms. And I'm telling you, having done that now for the last 3 years, and I go back to work August 1st, full-time. I've worked part-time, but working full-time, I'm terrified because I have really, really enjoyed being home with my kids. I love it. And I can't imagine that there aren't other women out there that also love it, but they don't want to say it or admit it because there's this like cloud above being a mother. Being a mother is the most important, hardest job there is to do. Hands down, it's not a 9-to-5 job. And working mothers too, like, I'm not downplaying working moms because that's a lot of work too. You got to work all day and then be home with your kids. But having done both, being at home with your kids all day, trying to find stuff to do, cooking, cleaning, taking care of their messes, taking care of them, making sure they're not watching bad things, making sure that they're getting exercise and eating right, and all those things all the time without having daycare or help is a job. It's a wonderful job, but it is a lot of work. So, I don't know. High five to you moms. I love it.
Be in a marriage, and this attack on men, and this is really an attack on women, Billy, because you're saying to those little girls that go to see this movie that some little boy can be a better girl than that little girl. So it's an attack on men. It's an attack on women.
I don't know that I agree with that necessarily. I think it's more saying, like, in the real world, men control everything. Women have no power. And when the men come back, and honestly, there's so much hypocrisy in this movie, like, nobody's happy. So if you think about it, really, this worldview that they have where, if the women are in charge and the men have no power, that everybody's going to be happy and everything's going to be great, that doesn't equate because nobody's happy, right? And Barbie wants to die. And then I guess, they go to the real world and the men have all the power. Well, nobody's happy there either. So the end result to me seems like it should be that you have a value system, you find your value system, you have a husband, you have a partner, whatever, wife, whatever, you have children, you work, like you live a lifestyle that supports you, that where you have family and you have a support system, religion, if that's important to you, you have family and all these things. And there's a shared, power structure, not just one or the other. And this movie seems to rely heavily on the fact that we need one or the other to be in charge. That's the part that I don't really like. The other stuff that he says, I like this, what he said, that's why I'm doing this. I watched a couple other people do these, and they were all fairly similar. I just liked that he was pretty grounded. Anyways.
To me, I don't know who wants to go see that, but they've already sold thousands of tickets. AMC said they've sold more tickets for this movie. The people pre-bought the tickets saying, we want to see Barbie because Barbie is one of the most popular toys of all time.
Well, the previews wouldn't indicate these issues necessarily, right? The previews don't show disdain between Barbie and Ken. They don't show any of this. How overt are the LGBTQ themes, right? Are they
Very
in your
overt.
face overt?
They're
very
extremely,
overt.
But that these people, this Greta, whoever the girl that wrote this, has to know that Barbie is going to bring out children. And they put all these, like, I'll beat you off, and other things too. Like, maybe some of the kids, and I'm okay with, like, kids maybe putting adult jokes in that are, like, over their head. But there are a lot of things in this movie that, like, I think kids would pick up on, especially nowadays.
They're extremely overt. It's not subterfuge. It's not subtle. It's, when the little girls are bashing the babies, saying we don't have to be mothers anymore.
If they actually say that in the movie, that's really disgusting. Really disgusting.
They're bashing the baby dolls and saying we don't have to be mothers. All the characters are very clear that this is them.
I mean, it's so interesting to me because you have Mattel, this is a legendary brand, right? And so you have them out there giving this permission to make this movie. Were you surprised at all, in light of the legacy of Barbie, that this is what you walked away seeing? Advice is do not take your kids to see this film, obviously, and you guys have made that clear.
I asked finish that little part right there because I think what shocks me is that this movie was marketed to all ages. It was obviously going to be a feminist type of movie, but they could have done so many things with this film that would have been balanced, I guess is the best way to put it. Like, if she's unhappy in Barbie world because she has too much power, let's give Ken a little bit of power. Let's give him a name. Let's, let's have equality. I mean, isn't that the whole thing? Like, women wanted equality. Now they just want to rule. That doesn't make them happy. Not being mothers, that doesn't make them happy. And then all of a sudden she's happy to go to the real world because she gets to go to the gynecologist. Like and by the way, America Ferrera does like a little speech, and I did hear that. And I did, like, it was cringy. It was so cringy. However, I did understand what she was saying. Like, but I don't think that in her monologue, the things that she says are, I'll try to put it in, but I don't think that those things have just to do with women. Like, I think men feel that way too. The difference is women, we express our emotions and men don't. So in a way, it's kind of worse because we'll like bitch and complain and moan to our girlfriends or our mothers or our friends or whatever about all the way that we feel about, we can't be pretty and be smart. We can't, we're never good enough. We're always expected to be this and that and the other thing. And like, she goes on and on. I'm not, put it up if I can.
Stand out and always be grateful. But never forget that the system is rigged. So find a way to acknowledge that, but also always be grateful. You have to never get old. Never be rude, never show off, never be selfish, never fall down, never fail, never show fear, never get out of line. It's too hard, it's too contradictory, and nobody gives you a medal or says thank you. And it turns out, in fact, that not only are you doing everything wrong, but also everything is your fault. I'm just so tired of watching myself and every single other woman tie herself into knots so that people will like us. And if all of that is also true for a doll, just representing a woman.
But I do agree that women feel that way, but I also agree that men feel that way. So anyways, there's just a lot of things in this movie that I hope that it will go over their heads, because if it doesn't, and all of a sudden girls are going to think like, I know how little girls think. They're going to hear these things and see these things and take it and it'll be like molded, like moving in the back of their heads. And I watched a couple reviews with like young girls, even on the conservative side, that were like, oh, it wasn't that bad. I like this movie and stuff. They obviously don't have children, because when you have children, you start seeing things a little bit differently, and you start thinking, okay, how are my children going to think about this? And I talked to my 7-year-old daughter and I said, what did you understand about the movie? And I didn't, she just was like, well, there was cussing. Like, that's like all she got out of it. But it doesn't change the fact that she heard it. It's in the back of her head. Now she's thinking. And she makes little comments here and there because, listen, she's on YouTube. I monitor everything she watches, but she's on YouTube. So every now and again, she'll say something that I'm like, oh God, they got to her. And then I have to explain it. And I'm happy to do that. That's my job. I'm happy to do it. These things are in the world. You're not going to hide it from them. You're never going to hide it from them. Because if you do, they're going to do what I've seen other kids do, and they're going to hide it from you. And if you get mad about them seeing something or saying something that they heard online about, maybe something that doesn't line up with your core values, then you have to correct them, talk to them about it, and make it okay for them to come to you. Because if you don't, they're going to hide it. They're not going to talk to you about it. And then before you know it, they're going to be like woke as all get out, and you're not even going to have seen it coming. That's just my advice as a mom. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful afternoon, evening, morning, whatever it is. Let's stay awake from all this garbage and hope that we'll get some really good movies soon that we can bring our kids to that aren't insane. I'll see you on the next one. Like, follow, subscribe, all the YouTubey things, TikToky things, and I will see you on the next one. Bye. What the hell are they thinking? Did they think this is a good idea? This is not a movie made for children, for their mothers to take. Like, what? There are no movies I can take my kids to anymore. It's all garbage. Like, I don't care if they want to put, put anybody you want in it. But the message of the film being that women, that there is no equality at the end, honestly, that women are just need to be in control is such baloney. And all the rhetoric that I've seen and heard and watched in reviews, oh my God, how did they get away with this? Why did Mattel let them do this? I don't even have words. Like, what is happening in this world? First of all, Ken going into the real world, I haven't seen the movie, but I know there's like a couple little jokes, and I know that there's this thing about, Ken having power in the real world, and it's obviously supposed to be, equal to how it is here, where men rule the real world and women don't have any power. Are you kidding me? Women have more power than they've ever had. Why do people keep falling for this? Wake up, people. This is ridiculous. Watch the movie, and if you don't see it, even just based in some of the stuff I've seen, without seeing the whole movie, I see that they're pushing an agenda on us. This is insane. Wake up, people. Wake the freak up. This is not good for our girls, and it is not good for our kids. I have two daughters. I have a 9-year-old and I have a 7-year-old. And I was really excited to take them to the Barbie movie. We love Barbie. We don't have any problem. I'm a heavy girl. They've made so many strides with Barbie. I mean, she's been a feminist since the 80s, guys. This is a doll figure. Who cares what she looks like? Little girls didn't care. I never thought of it, and they never thought of it. They make this big deal about how, Barbie's super skinny. When I was a little girl playing with Barbie, all I wanted to do was dress her up. Yeah, we thought it was funny, and my brother thought it was funny that she had boobs, and sometimes he'd make Ken and Barbie naked together. I imagine all children do that, with dolls. But other than that, we never thought about her body. We like to play dress up and house with her. It's the same thing that my kids play Roblox now, and they do play with dolls sometimes, but they play house on a video game, but they are role playing. That's what we did with Barbie. We role played. We did not care what shape she was. She could have been fat. She could have been skinny. It didn't matter. And the annoying part is they've made it such a big thing. I don't know. Are there a lot of women, and just seriously be honest with me, are all the women that have watched my channel, when you were little and you played with Barbie doll, do you think it gave you a complex? That's not the thing that gave me a complex. If anything gave me a complex about my weight, it was my weight. Other people, yes, maybe they treat you different, but most people just treat you normal. And I've been both. I have been skinny and I have been fat. Now, I will say, going to the bars and getting hit on and stuff, I could always pull a guy, but guys are easy. That's not a complicated thing. But when I was thinner and looked more like a Barbie doll, and I did look like a Barbie doll, I have fake boobs and long blonde hair and everything. I looked like a Barbie doll. I could get any man in there. But I think a lot of it was more about my confidence, more so than what I looked like. Would I get looks? Of course. But nobody, and I was gorgeous. I won bikini contests and all kinds of stuff. But nobody, treated me badly or like a sex object or anything. And I dressed slutty, and I dressed like I shouldn't have been dressing, probably out and about. So I don't know where these women get this stuff. Why are feminists so up in arms about Barbie not being good for kids? And then they come out with this movie, which is worse for kids. As the women, seriously, did Barbie give you a complex? I want to know for sure, because I don't think that ever crossed my mind as a little girl. By the time I was at an age where I even thought about those things, I was done playing with Barbie. Anyways, I've got some more to say, but I wanted to tell you, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching my channel. I'm trying to grow it. I am starting a new job. It was just a really, really good job offer, and I had to take it. But I'm going to try to maintain doing these videos. But it's going to be a little tough for a while. So any support that I can get would be fantastic. Okay, have a good day. I hope I didn't rant too long, and I'll see you on the next one.
I thought it was Halloween.
I don't know what.